I don't want anyone to try to sell me anything, and I don't want to have to sell anybody anything. The jobs and careers and volunteer work I've chosen are all non-sales. So as I attempted to do this project, I was really inauthentic. And I could stand up here and do the objectives, but I decided not to. A couple of months ago, our esteemed Toastmaster, Espen Jensen, kind of went postal on us with his cold calling speech, and so I decided to follow in his footsteps. I have made up a new word. I've coined a new word, and it's called Espenization. Now that's the noun form, and the verb form to esponize is defined. Don't do the objectives in the manual. Get up, tell a few funny stories, maybe stand in the corner. So I have esponized project number 3. You know, I love being a volunteer at our Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. And that's a job where I don't have to do any sales. Can't you just imagine if sales were involved there? One day I'd walk up to the rhino and say,
Yeah.
Junbei, you are really looking really dry. Your skin, I know you're a pachyderm, and I know you don't have any sweat glands, but your skin, it's kind of flaky. Do I have a deal for you, Junbei? Today, I'm willing to sell you this 8-gallon jar of Rhino moisturizer for just $240. That's a mere $30 an ounce. And Junbei, if you act today, I'll give you a 10% discount. I don't have to do that. Or, you know, we have some otters up there, and they're always swimming around in their little otter pond. And one day I might go up there and say, hey, Pavani, why don't you come on out of the water? I know you're semi-aquatic, but you could catch some rays, become a little bit more terrestrial. And Pavani, that hairstyle that you have, all slicked down, it doesn't really work all the time. Today, I have a special offer for you. For just $59.99, you can have this super fluff hair dryer. And Pavani, if you act right now, I'll throw in these 12 attachments free. No, don't have to do any sales at this. When I was in college, I worked as a waitress. Now, we used to call it waitress. I know today it's a wait person. But there was no sales at all involved in that for me. Why would I want to sell customers that are usually pretty cranky more food so I could carry heavier trays and have more dirty dishes to clean up? That's not going to happen in my world. I worked in a restaurant once that had really killer desserts, and they always sold themselves. You know, when those supersized customers would come in with their roly-poly children, they would order their meal, and they're the ones that always washed it down with a chocolate milkshake, and then they would say, and for dessert, I would like. For my career, I was in the Air Force. Now, in the Air Force, there's no sales involved. Yes, we have recruiters, but I never got involved in that. And actually, I got into the Air Force by default, so I really wasn't recruited. It was just a choice that I made when all else failed. So when I was in the Air Force, everybody, orders would come down, you would stand at attention, salute smartly, and say yes sir or yes ma'am. There was no sales involved. Can't you just imagine if our training instructors, our DIs, had to be salesmen? That busload of new recruits would pull up, and that training instructor would walk over there and say, hey guys, welcome to boot camp. We're so happy to have you here at Camp Kick Your Butt. We have lots of activities planned for you. You're just gonna love it here. We are going to do lots of physical training. We're going to run you until you puke your guts out. Wouldn't that be fun? And also, when you get tired, we have this wonderful building over here. It's called a dormitory. It's got these great, nice rooms in it. And in each room, we have 40 beds. That's right, every night. You're going to sleep up close and personal with your new best friends and listen to them snore and fart. And you know what? When we get hungry, we're going to go over to this wonderful restaurant that we have. It's called the Chow Hall. Gourmet food. We've got the best cooks in the world over there. You can actually get SOS each and every morning that you are here. That didn't happen in the military, and it doesn't happen. And can't you just imagine, as a commander, as I was, orders coming down and having to do something like this? Hey, guys, look what I've got. Oh, man, you're going to love this. Come on, let's go over and have a cold one at the club. Sit down and talk about it. You know what? We have an enemy up on our northern border. How exciting is that? You know, up there in the north this time of year, it's snowing, it's icy, it's cold, it's wonderful, and it stays dark most of the time. It's really hard to see up there. But come on, we're going to have a great time. I want you to come along with me. We'll go on up there and dig ourselves some foxholes. Now, when we get in those foxholes, we are going to look out over the edge, and guess what we're going to see? The enemy! And he's pointing a loaded weapon at us. How fun is that? But you know what? You're going to have your loaded weapon also. Come on, let's go on up there. It'll be great fun, and we'll go up and see if we can shoot them before they shoot us. I don't think that's ever going to happen in our military. Like I said, I don't want anybody to have to sell anything to me, and I don't want to sell anything to anybody else. I just want really great customer service. So when all else fails, use a technique like I've used today. It's called espionization. Totally disregard your evaluator, the objectives in the book. Just get up here. Tell some great stories. You'll enjoy it. I think this is my 40th speech for Toastmasters, and I've been pretty much by the book on every other one, and I've never busted the time. But today, it feels really good to break the rules.
Hey, Phil, I'm not.
So now,
Who's going to top that one?
So if you master espionization, you can be prepared for anything.
all right.